We're going to cover how you can use a one-page report I created to analyze your customer or visitor funnel. This report is easy to use with your Google Analytics data, and it puts all the most important information you need to see how well your funnel is performing all onto one page. Using data-driven methods to grow and engage your audience will set you apart from the vast majority of content creators out there. Here we'll show you how to analyze your R funnel. If you want to be cute, you can call it the pirate funnel. You get it? The R funnel is made up of 5 levels: acquisition, how people get to your site; activation, what people do on your site; retention, do they come back to your site; revenue, how you make money; and referral, how people share your content. Whether you're aware of it or not, each visitor to your site falls into your R funnel at one of these levels. Each level of the funnel has its own complexities and inner workings, but this is the big picture for your online business. We'll see how you can use your traffic data to quickly know what you need to be focusing on right now to grow an engaged audience. We'll then dive into each level of the funnel in more detail in other videos. We'll be using Google Analytics demo data from the Google Merchandise Store as an example, along with a Data Studio report I've put together. You can get a copy of this report and connect your own Google Analytics data by getting this free Data Studio template in the link below. Setup takes just a few minutes and you'll be on your way. One side note, this guide does assume that you have at least some traffic to begin with. After all, you can't make data-driven decisions without data. Okay, let's do it. The whole point of analyzing your data this way is to find the best ways to nudge people down your R funnel. We separate each level of the funnel into distinct parts in order to focus on specific areas that we can improve. But the reality is that each level of your funnel is interconnected with the other levels. So we need to have an idea of the big picture and how our levels of our funnel can work synergistically with each other. So, for example, yes, you want to attract more traffic, obviously, by focusing on improving your acquisition metrics, but you want engaged traffic that translates into strong numbers in your activation metrics. Active users are then easier to turn into return users, which will be reflected in your retention metrics. In turn, it's easier to turn someone who knows something about you into a paying customer, which is in your revenue metrics, who then brings in other people by sharing your content, referral metrics. You need to work towards creating a plan that operates on all levels synergistically. So how do you do that? Well, we'll illustrate a few ways to approach this. First, take a holistic view of your customer funnel. In our example of the Google Store here, the first thing that jumps out at me is that while the number of sessions and users is up, more than 17% gains over the previous month, activation and retention stats are mediocre at best, and revenue and all the related metrics is way down over the last month. Now, a little side note here, you'll notice that registrations are up by 133% compared to the previous month, but this is a bit misleading because registrations only started being tracked towards the end of the previous month, so we're not comparing apples to apples here. A more important number is the registration conversion rate, which is 1.67%, which isn't terrible, but it's not that great either. So this particular site seems to be bringing people in fairly well, but getting them to be active return users and converting them into paying customers isn't going so well. So right away, I can see that this means I need to focus on ways to improve my numbers in the middle parts of my funnel: activation, retention, revenue. In this example, I'll be focusing on increasing activations, email, engaged users, registrations, etc., since this is the highest level of my funnel that needs improvement, which, if you see that multiple levels of your funnel need improvement, always start with the highest one. So first, we can drill down a little further with data filters to get a clearer picture of exactly what we need to be focusing on to do this. I'll show you how you can use filters to drill down into your data a little more with an example by setting the default channel grouping filter at the top of the report. You can modify this filter to see which acquisition channels lead to better metrics for all levels of your R funnel. You might find that one channel, maybe referral traffic, does better than the others up and down your funnel. That's great. Focus on optimizing that channel until your efforts plateau, and then you can look for new opportunities. Or you might find that one channel does better at engaging and activating your traffic, say through downloads or email signups, and another does better at bringing in repeat visitors through retention. That's great information to have. Focus one channel on campaigns that get people activated and the other on campaigns that get people to come back to your site. So you'll need to come up with a content strategy that focuses on each channel to some degree, but again, make each level of your funnel work together. In this example report, if I want to increase activation or engagement on the site, a good place to start is by focusing on where the most engaged traffic is already coming from. In the acquisition section of the report, I noticed that referral traffic has the lowest bounce rate in the default channel groupings table, which is the first indication that this might be a good channel to target for more engaged traffic. If I filter the report to only include referral traffic, well, sure enough, I can see that this type of traffic has a very low bounce rate at 21.51%. It gets almost double the average number of page views per session, 7.97 compared to 4.33 overall, and it has a conversion rate for registrations that's nearly 3 times as high as the overall average. It's 4.5% compared to 1.67%. So these data suggest I should focus on attracting high quality referral traffic over other methods like SEO and social media in order to get more active, engaged users on my site. There's really no point in pouring your time and effort into a new social media platform or SEO if those channels don't bring in the kind of traffic you need to grow an engaged audience. If these channels bring in more traffic and that's your goal, then that's fine, but just keep in mind that simply getting more traffic isn't always the answer. Now, if you're just starting out, by all means, try lots of different things, but keep an eye on your data so you can quickly shift your efforts to things that are paying off in terms of engaged traffic. The key, though, is not to get too bogged down on any single metric and instead think in synergistic terms. Ask yourself questions like, if I get more traffic through search, social, referral, etc., how would that affect my site's activation, retention, revenue, referrals based on my current data? Use these principles while you apply more filters to your data and drill down deeper. For example, which referral source medium has the best performing metrics for your goals? Once you identify the top performers, you can devise an action plan to reach out to those types of platforms for backlinks, guest blog posts, etc., in order to increase high quality, high converting traffic. You might also look at how well different pages perform with respect to your goals. If there's a specific topic you write about or a certain type of content that has led to a lot of conversions in the past, for example, think of ways to incorporate related content into your campaigns. If you want to focus only on getting engaged new visitors or only on re-engaging return visitors, you can add a user type filter and see which channels and types of content do well with each group. So quick review, let's put it all together. While each level of your customer funnel has its own set of complexities to consider, this example should give you a new way to look at the big picture of your online content business. Hopefully you can see that by looking at just a few important metrics and how they relate to other metrics, you can easily and quickly make smart, data-driven decisions about your business without wading through a bunch of complex reports. If you want to get started with your own report and haven't already done so, click the link below and you can be set up in analyzing your own funnel in just a few minutes.